Folks, Merry Christmas to everybody from the Dice Tower. Even though Christmas is still a month or so away, we're here to talk to you about a Christmas shopping guide. Hopefully this video will help you with some ideas to get some games. The games that we're talking about are hopefully in print, so that many of them are available at Cool Stuff, which is our sponsor. You can find a link below the video, and you can buy gifts for your entire family. That's what this category is, family games. Now, family games is kind of a hazy thing, but I always think of a game that I can bring out and play with my family.
Right.
Teenage kids, maybe upper tweens,
right.
Parents, a mixed
game
group.
That would go over well with a mixed group is what I tend to think of. 4 players or so, 4 or 5, mixed group. You can have grandma, if maybe playing with the parents, playing with a kid. Everybody can sort of join along and have a good time.
All right, so I'm going to start here. The first game that we're going to talk about today is a brand new one, just came out, and that's Pandemic: The Cure. Now, Pandemic is a game that one of the three of us talks about entirely too much. But it is a great cooperative game. This adds a kind of a wrinkle to that, and in this game you have dice. It's a dice game. You are rolling to try to stop diseases. Each person plays a different role. You might be the medic. You might be the chemist. You might be a traffic coordinator. To help people move around. I forget the exact names of the roles.
They're getting worse and worse. The thing, traffic cop, security guard at the mall.
No, but anyhow, you really do have these important roles to do. And you're trying to stop disease, and you each have your own special customized set of dice, which is really fun. And you can roll and try to do things, but if you can re-roll as much as you want, but if you roll too much, you can cause an outbreak to get worse. And this is a fun game. It's cooperative, stop disease from destroying the world, which is something that's very pertinent right now and very entertaining to play together as a group because you're doing something that's a lot of fun and hopefully noble. So that is Pandemic: The Cure.
Cool.
I just want to show if you can read through the scratchies.
Yes, that does.
Pandemic was almost on your list?
I was almost on my list.
Oh, Sam.
So I had your bag, man. All right, but moving on to the games that actually did make the list. First one is a game that I've talked about at length. So there doesn't have to be a whole lot of explanation here, but it is Jamaica, a pirate-themed racing game where you each take the captainship of a boat that is sailing around the island of Jamaica in a race to try to collect the most gold and to reach back to Port Royal first. And the artwork is phenomenal. Every time I talk about this game, I have to talk about this because it is such an inviting board and the cards are so well done. It really pulls people into it. It's not, I wouldn't go so far as to say it's a thematic game, but it is definitely one of those games that kind of pulls you in by its aesthetic appeal. So Jamaica is just a game that I've really enjoyed over the years, and I know that you will too. Everybody I've taught it to have loved it. Jamaica, the pirate racing game.
All right. Well, the game I'll be speaking of first is a recent favorite of mine, and that is Steam Park, which is a dice game, basically, in which you are building a park. But it is a Steam Park because it is a park for robots.
Hooray!
An amusement park. And in the game, you will be rolling dice quickly, trying to get the actions you want, and then once you're done, once you're happy with what you rolled, you grab a tile, which will let you basically clean up your park because the robots are making a mess at your Steam Park. And if you take too long, then the last tile on the table for the slowest player at the table actually gives them dirt. And you want to avoid that dirt. You want to get rid of it because it penalizes you at the end of the game. And then with your dice, you'll take several actions. They let you build new rides, which are very cool 3D pieces you put on a little board you have. You can buy stands, which give you special abilities. You can bring new robots and stick them on your rides. They stand right up on there. Lots of stuff going on. Very cool game. As Sam was saying about Jamaica, this is also very aesthetically pleasing. And plays quickly, plays well, plays simply. Very enjoyable game. I love that aspect of, quickly rolling at the beginning. But then once that part's done, you can take your time to resolve all your dice. It's not a speed game. I really enjoy this one. Steam Park, if you have not looked at it, it's a good family game. Check it out.
All right, my next one is Black Fleet, which is a game in which you control a merchant ship and you're going around and delivering cubes on a board. But you also control a pirate ship and then going after other people's merchant ships. And you also control 2 royal guard ships in the middle that are going after the pirate ships. So each turn you play a card and it says move your merchant ship this many spaces, move your pirate ship this many spaces, move one of the royal guard ships this many spaces. Very simple. You pick which card you're going to play and you have to figure out you're trying to use your merchant ship, avoid the pirates, have the pirates get the merchant ships but avoid the royal ones, and then just hunting down the pirate ships. Very fun, cool ship models, very light, easy going. It's not this complicated, oh, what do I do next? You're just chasing everyone's ships all over the board. Lots of fun for the whole family. That's Black Fleet.
All right, cool. My next family game is a game that is based in the Stone Age. And that's what it's called, the Stone Age, where you are trying to...
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm going to do that for every game I have left then.
Where you're trying to build up your village, and you're trying to build buildings into your village and get more population into your village, and you're still having to feed your village, but that's pretty easy to do. If you can't feed your village in Stone Age, well, you need help. Anyway, Stone Age is a dice rolling game as well, where you're rolling for resources, and a lot of people don't like that about this game, but it is very mitigatable. That's a new word. But you can very much mitigate away the luck factor of rolling for resources. There's always some way that you can gain points on your turn. That's one of the things I like about it. You never really feel like you're stuck. You can't do anything. It has happened, but it's rare in my experience. But anyway, Stone Age is a very easy resource production, and then use your resources to build different things on the board. And my family has enjoyed it a lot over the years, so I had to include it. Stone Age.
All right. Well, let's keep rolling then. My game is a dice game as well, and I wanted to highlight this game because I feel it's not getting a lot of attention, and that might be, I'm not certain, but it might be because the game is not particularly attractive. It does not look very good on the shelf. It might not inspire you to pick it up and look at it, but I recommend you do. The game's called Cubist, and it is about in a very abstract way, it's about the art movement, but really it's a dice game in which you are rolling dice, and you are using those dice you rolled to construct buildings and construct different things. And so you'll be taking your rolls, sometimes you'll stack the dice. There are a few works that all the players can work on together, and you're trying to do the best on those, and then you have your own. The game has some card play, which is very simple, but it's mainly a dice game. The dice look great. The artwork, it's not wonderful, but if that's not what you're looking for, if you really want a good, interesting, original dice game, then I do recommend you check out Cubist. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Do you want to be a cowboy, though? That's Colt Express, a new game. Well, I guess you're not a cowboy, you're a train robber. Yeah. And so each player plays a train robber, and what's really cool about Colt Express is that you have this three-dimensional train you build, and you're moving these guys back and forth on the train, robbing the passengers, punching each other, stealing the stuff other people have robbed, shooting each other, running across the roof of the train.
Good family theme.
And avoiding the marshal who's coming around. You do this through kind of a programmable movement. Each player will play cards that say what their guy's going to do next. You put these in a big pile, you flip that pile over, and you start doing that and see what happens. So it's not very complicated. It's kind of easy, and it's entertaining as all get out to watch the action unfold. You really can imagine the scene, and then you'll hear people talk in Western accents and stuff, and quote lines from, train robbery movies and such. Very fun game, Colt Express.
There's a snake in my boot. My next game is another dice game. I like dice games. And this one has a medieval fantasy feel to it, and that is called Kingsburg. Kingsburg is a game where each player takes and is trying to build up the fortifications and the buildings in his town, and in order to do so, he has to try to influence different members of the king and queen's court. And you do that by rolling dice, and the number of pips that show up on the dice tell you which courtesan you are able to influence. Thank you. For that turn, and that gives you resources, or it gives you the ability to look over the horizon and see what evil horde is coming to attack next, and so there's a lot of different things you can do. Basically, the whole point is to get points, but it has a pretty rich thematic feel to it, where getting the points is kind of under the veil, so to speak. You really don't feel like you're just getting points, unless you want to try to play it that way. You really do feel like you're trying to build up your town and shore up your defenses and get ready for the attack that's coming in the winter. So that's my next installment recommendation for the family games Kingsburg.
Very cool. Now, speaking of rich thematic games with a sort of a thin veil, though, you gotta have to look for it.
Yeah.
Evolution is my next choice. This is a game that just came out. It is basically a card game in which you are creating new species and having them evolve, and attempting to have them survive through doing things like making sure they eat enough and the groupings of animals stay healthy, doing things like avoiding carnivores or becoming carnivores and attacking other species. It's a very interesting game. You'll be drawing cards, adding cards to a food pile, which is secret at the beginning of each round, and then creating new species, growing their body size, growing the herd size, or giving them abilities from those cards. Everything takes cards. And so you can get very interesting combinations. The cards work very well together. They all look very good. The artwork is spectacular in this game. And it all looks good together because it's all from the same artist, which I love. And that's basically the game. You play until the deck of cards is run out, add up the points, which is mostly the food you ate, and see who won. I really enjoy it. I think it works very well in a family setting. If you have kids who are interested in animals and they like that whole idea of looking at the critters drawn on all the pictures and evolution and all of that, I recommend it. It's a great looking game and very, very fun. Evolution is my choice.
Last game I want to talk about is a game that you want to play Godzilla, you want to be King Kong. You can do all that in this game, King of New York. King of New York, each player controls a giant creature who's trying to destroy New York. And you're walking around the city, blowing up tanks, smashing airplanes, and punching each other consistently, trying to get to Manhattan to get the glory, to be the most famous monster in the world. This would be a terrible thing if it was true. But in this game, it's really fun. It uses a Yahtzee-style mechanism in which you roll dice, get to keep some, roll them again. Very easy to play, very interactive. I punched you, I got you, and back and forth, and very fun. Great artwork, brings the whole thing together. That is King of New York.
Not bad. All right, my final recommendation for family games is a game that, now wait for it, okay, because this game is based upon a bingo mechanic. But you don't say bingo, you say Ave Caesar.
Ave Caesar!
Thank you. Now,
I'm going to try that next time I play bingo. I will say Ave Caesar.
That would be funny. Okay, now, the name of the game is called The Rise of Augustus. Now, basically what you're doing here is, it's very bingo-ish. You take your hand and you stick it into a bag and you pull out a shield. And everybody looks at the cards that they have in front of them. And if there's a shield, you can place one of your soldiers on that shield. And so you reach in, you grab another thing, and okay, so there's a spear or a sword or a chariot or what have you. And so you look on your cards, and so you keep doing this until people are able to finish their cards, and those cards give you special abilities later on in the game. And you're trying to find these cards that will combo off of each other and get you more points, and it's. What I've said about this game before is that I shouldn't enjoy this game because it's really just glorified bingo.
Bingo!
Ave Caesar.
Ave Caesar.
I shouldn't like this game, but it is so much fun, and my family really enjoys playing it together. It's one of those games where, you know how some games you like the game and it's fun for you, but the rest of this is one of the games where everybody has fun. And so I really think it would be worth your time to take a look at it. And it is called The Rise of Augustus.
Very good choice. All right, and my last choice here is a very simple card game. If you enjoy classic card games, trick-taking games, I'm speaking about hearts, I'm speaking about
Spades.
spades, thank you, euchre, that sort of game, then this is one I want you to check out. It's called Diamonds. This is a game that just recently came out from Stronghold Games, yes? Mm-hmm. And the game is a very straightforward trick-taking game with a couple of twists. You are attempting to collect diamonds, even though that's sort of the gist of the name is that while diamonds are a suit, there are actual little plastic gems that are representing diamonds. You're trying to collect those, put them in a little vault you have, which is a little player screen. And you play tricks. You play a hand of tricks. And every time you play a card, because you have to, and you're not able to follow suit, you normally have to, but if you're not able to, then you trigger a special power, and each suit has a special power. That might be put a gem into your vault, steal one from someone else, what have you. And so in the game, it's very interesting because it self-balances. Even if you, technically in other games, you would have a bad hand where you cannot follow suit. In this game, if you cannot follow suit, you get a little something for it. I think it works wonderfully for families that like trick-taking games. So I recommend it very highly. Look into Diamonds.
Well, there you go. 12 games for your family. Hopefully one or more of these sound interesting, and you can buy it for the family, put it under the tree, play it with them, and it's really for you after all. So, well, no, I mean, that's a good thing.
Forever.
I recommend family games for Christmas very much so. We'll see you guys next time from the Dice Tower.